right. The date is, what's the date? The 8th of April, 2025. It's a Tuesday, 8:25 in the morning, heading off to work. I thought I might just turn my camera on to record a random ass video. I'm just gonna start yapping, and I'm not gonna start napping, because I don't want to die behind the wheel. I don't know. Anyway, so I want to talk about how time goes so quick. You know, just about 5 years ago, I was freshly 18. I was still in university. Didn't last very long in university, but that year, 2020, was the first time that I got a proper kind of corporate job, and I started working that. And that was 5 years ago. My boss at that company, my boss at that company said, look guys, 5 years, it's gonna go super quick. And at the time I was just like, yeah, whatever, yep. And then boom, now we're here basically. And he is right, time goes by quick. Even though I feel like I've done a lot in those 5 years, I've made new friends, I've made money, I've been able to buy the stuff that I wanted for the most part within reason. I've got a lot of work experience in different types of roles. Crap, I gotta fix that. I'm happy with the person I am overall. I've developed a lot. I've learned a lot. I just look back and it's like, you know, all that time's gone. And I don't particularly regret anything that I've done. I've just maybe wish I'd done a bit more. But I think I'm always gonna look back in my life and think, damn, I wish I'd done a bit more. But anyway, it's a bit of a side tangent, but recently, and by recently I mean this morning, less than an hour ago, I was thinking about living to about 100, 110 years old, and that becoming the norm coming forward in the future, because technology is going to progress. And you know, it's not unheard of for people to live to around 100 right now. I'm sure maybe 10 or 20% of the population in Western developed countries live to that age. But I'm sure if you've met anyone over 90 or even 100, they're not very physically or mentally well for the most part. And so I'm sure if you live to 100, the last 20 years of your life won't be very, let's say optimal. Use that word, optimal. And so I'm sure in the future, when medicine and technology advances, people would live to around 100, but they'll maybe have like a better quality of life. And I was just thinking, that's a lot of freaking time if you consider that you become fully yourself at 25, you know, mentally, physically developed. Boom, that's it, you're done at 25. You got a good 75 years of life. And I was just thinking, I'd love to be able to live each and every one of those years of my life up until 100, not having to regret anything. I know it sounds cheesy, I know, I'm sure a lot of people talk about this, but I just want to live my life with integrity. I want to live each kind of hour of my life living my life, living the life that I know the person inside would want me to live. Not bending to anyone's will, not trying to please others too much, speaking my mind more, which I know I already do if you know who I am, if you're friends with me, but just living a life that is unencumbered and not limited by the forces of other people. Like right now, for example, and more so a few years ago when I was younger, I'd have the worst social anxiety, and in a given situation when I'm talking to someone, I'd overthink how they think about me, if they're judging me or whatever. And it's still prevalent now in my world, but it's not as bad. But yeah, I just love to live a life that's a bit more free and not have to worry. There's a quote by Alan Watts, who's this philosopher back in the day, very famous person. He said that not a second of anxious thoughts solved any real life issues. And I really agree with that. That's really smart. So I have to hold the camera sometimes because when I'm turning, you might fall forward or backward, whatever, who cares? But yeah, you know, I consider myself very lucky because even though I've only lived 23 years of my life so far, who knows if I die tomorrow, if I die in 100 years, or if I die in 1,000 years, if cryo-freeze technology progresses. But I'd say those 23 years of life that I've had so far have been relatively good. I think someone, given my circumstances, given the family that I was born in, the country that I was born in, my personality, my overall attributes, my cards, as some people put it, I think I've done well for myself in terms of living a life that is relatively full. And that comes from, I think, my ability in creating really fulfilling relationships. You know, when I meet someone on the fly, if I have the potential of building a really good, long-lasting relationship with others. And I think that's the pillar, one very important pillar of a good life. Up there with health, up there with, I don't even know, good health and relationships. What else can you argue? Wealth, I mean, you only need a set amount, or yeah, like a set amount of that to get the basics. But yes, I want to keep doing that, keep living good, keep living well. I'm also very lucky that all my grandparents, except for one, is still alive. So that shows I have really good genetics. You know, they live to around, one of them is 93, you know, and is still kicking, still doing well. And a few of them, two of the others are in their 80s. So it just shows that I have the potential to live to that age. But yeah, what do I want to talk about? What the hell? What is this video? I just want to keep making moves, keep making progress as a human being. Another thing I was thinking of was around a year ago, this time a year ago, I was like 85 kilos, 84 kilos, whatever. And I just stuck to a diet plan. Not even exercise too much, but mostly diet. I watched what I ate, and over the course of, I'd say 6 to 10 months, I've lost over 10 kilos. I'm like 73-ish kilos in the morning now. And it's not even that I put too much effort into it. It's not even that it was so hard, but it just was time that compounded each day that I stuck to my diet. And with time, slowly but surely, I've lost the weight. I just want to continue doing that. Over the past week, I've been very undisciplined with my diet, funnily enough, now that I mentioned that. And I haven't applied to any jobs, which those two things, you know, I want to make more money with the second job and I want to lose weight. Those two things are my main goals for the next few months. So I'm gonna hop back on that, which might be hard because tomorrow I'm going to Melbourne with a few of my friends. We're going to this music festival, which should be cool. And we're gonna be doing like a bunch of different stuff as well in Melbourne other than that. So obviously I won't be able to control my diet too well. I'm gonna be eating out a lot, but that's okay. When we get back, I'm gonna hop back onto my goals. Damn, the traffic is bad this morning. The hell, I'm on McGill Road right now, which kind of sucks ass with traffic every single morning. But it's fine. These are the roadblocks you're gonna deal with in life. Traffic is one of those things. 3 things that are certain in life: taxes, death, and traffic if you drive, which most people would. Anyway, I wanted to mention as well, I think I'm gonna stop this video short because I ran out of things to say, but I wanted to say that this is something that I've noticed within myself. I can tolerate a lot in life. I can put up with a lot. That's what I've noticed. Like if someone that I'm close with is giving me a hard time, I'll freaking put up with that shit. You know what I mean? And also, I don't need a lot to survive. I live a very simple life. I'm sure if I lose my car like tomorrow or whatever, I'm sure even that won't even affect me that much. I'm going on a few trips overseas this year. And I went to one at the beginning of the year to Vietnam, my home country, even though I was born and raised in Australia. But anticipating that trip, you know, the weeks and months leading forward to that, I didn't even care. I wasn't even that excited. And so I think I realized that I have a very stable, steady existence. I'm a very chill guy. I'm just a chill guy. How do I say? But I don't need much in life to be content, to be happy. I've thought about, you know, in the future when I move out, I'll be very content living in like a small unit, 1 or 2 bedrooms, living in a simple existence. I think that's all I need, honestly. But I more value like experiences and people over materialistic items. That's what I'm trying to say. Holy crap, dude, the traffic sucks ass, man. You know what, one thing that really does me in is the traffic. That's one thing that I can't stand. I'm learning about myself this morning. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the yap. I'm gonna let you guys get back to what you were doing. I can't believe it, dude, if you are watching to the end of this video right now, it's been what, 12 minutes now. You are crazy. I don't know how I'm so interesting, how I've captured your attention so much. But anyway, all right, I'll leave things with you. Hope you have a good week. I'll see you next week. Do something good for the world and do something good for yourself within the next 7 days, whatever that could be. And yeah, I'll see you later. All right, bye.